Welcome behind the barrel, Polestar, brought to you by William Hill, the proud sponsor of the World Darts Championship. The Flying Scotsman Gary Anderson won 7 of the last 8 legs from 8-4 down to claim an 11-9 victory over the world's #1 Michael van Gerwen to claim the Dubai duty-free Darts Masters. At the same time as the top players in the world were sunning themselves in Dubai, Challenge Tour headed off to Wigan for the bright lights there, and there were for events 5, 6, 7 and 8, and there were wins there for Nick Folwell, Adam Hunt, Ryan Searle and Scott Taylor. This week sees the PDC World Cup of Darts. Adrian Lewis, Phil Taylor, Team England are looking to defend their trophy they won last year to try and grab some punting value. Been joined by no other, the Prince of Style, PDC Director, Rod Harrington. How are you doing, Rod?
Yes, I'm very well, Paul. Thanks very much. Yeah, the weather could be a little bit better so I could get out fishing, but things we have to put up with in this country. Last week I was in Dubai in 95 degrees, and now I'm here getting cold.
Yeah. How was Dubai? Gary done well with 8-4 down, but he turned it round.
Yes, he played very well. I mean, Anderson's got that ability to be able to do that. Like Van Gerwen, like Lewis, and like Taylor used to have. He just has that ability to just roll off legs. Take out big shots, and that's what the game's all about, and the others have got to try and play catch-up.
That's right, because at the moment, if it's not MVG winning it, it's Gary, and the other two, well, say the other two, but like you just mentioned, or anyone else, they're not collecting any of the major or any titles at the moment, are they? It's really just one or the other.
Yes, it is. I mean, Phil Taylor's still playing well, but I think he's just lost that force in his mind to, at crucial times, get the leg finished off, close it out. And I think that's all he's missing. And the more he goes on and without winning, the more it will get to him. That's never happened before with Phil Taylor. And people have got to jump on it while they can, because if he gets his form back and his mindset, then he's still a force to be reckoned with. And Adi, who's the other real talent in the game, he's just not firing on all cylinders at the moment, Adi. But as I keep saying, he's like the George Best of darts. He just, he'll turn up one day and play terrible, and then the next day he'll beat everybody and go on and win tournaments. So you kind of have to accept that with AD. Peter Wright's another one I think has got a major in him sooner or later. You have to play brilliant to beat him, and he did play well again out in Dubai, and he seems to always play well. However, the longer he goes on without winning the tournament, the harder it will get.
Yeah, to get over that line. Well, you mentioned Phil in AD, of course. They're the reigning defending World Cup of Darts champions, going to Frankfurt Thursday for defend their trophy. We're looking at the odds, Rod. I'm looking at the Netherlands are favourite 11-8, but they would be seeded to play Scotland at 9-2 in the semi-final. So 11-5 England. Would you say because of the draw that's the value there?
Well, I think it is. I mean, although we say that Adi and Phil are not playing that well, they're actually playing brilliantly, but we're judging them against the high averages that Michael van Gerwen is throwing. Now, we've got a pairs match, which is totally different. I know they're playing singles, and only if it's a draw it goes to the pair. However, it is a totally different game. It's a very, very short format, so anybody can win. So like you say, the other two top teams are playing each other in the semis, so they can only play one of them. So I think 11-5 is a great bet, and I think actually the Scottish team at 9-2 is great value. I mean, although Robert Thornton has replaced Peter Wright because he had to pull out, the way Gary Anderson's playing, and we know Robert Thornton is a quality player, and with Gary Anderson to pull him along, in his slipstream, they could be a force this year. Yeah,
and of course they made the final last year, didn't they? So they know how they know how to do it. I know it was Peter Wright. I mean, looking at some of the other teams there, we got Belgium at 20-1, Wales at 20-1. What about Australia? They've made the final before at 33-1. Remember the time with Paul Nicholson on the floor and that, when he had chances to win it. Anyone else you fancy?
Well, no, I think you said that probably the best outsider there in Australia. I mean, it's Carl Anderson replacing Paul Nicholson this year. And, he is a quality player. We know what Simon Whitlock can do. And you know what? Some people, like Mark Webster proves, they put on that national shirt and all of a sudden they find 10% from somewhere else. And I think Simon Whitlock and Carl Anderson will do that. I think if they can get into their rhythm early, I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Over the short distance, you know, Simon, he's still playing well, but again, a little bit like Phil Taylor, just haven't got the confidence to finish games off. But representing your country, you know, sometimes that extra bit of pressure does help you out. So I think the Hybrex brothers, Kim's not playing overly well at the moment, and if he's not playing at the top of his game, he cannot drag Ronnie along so much in the slipstream. So I think I think they may struggle. I may be wrong, but I think they could struggle this year. But certainly the Aussies, you know, they would be one of the ones to watch.
We mentioned Kyle Anderson there, of course, yeah, a fantastic average only a few months ago, I think, on the floor. So he is capable, very capable. But what about Germany, 80-1, being the hosts?
Yeah, I mean, as the host station, you're always fancying, but 80-1, I mean, you know, Max Hopp, the young man, has got a great future in this game, and he's been playing extremely well since Christmas. You know, he's the youth world champion, and he's improving all the time. I just hope that this occasion is not going to get to him too much, because we do see that at times with players. You know, they have got they're going to get some great support, and we know the dark crowds can be a little bit boisterous towards their favourites, so they've got that on their side. But, you know, when you get down to that semi-finals and final, you're up against another two of the best players in the world in a team, and that's where you kind of get found out. I expect them to do very well, but I just can't see them winning it.
No, that's it. It's perhaps too much of a big step. And you say, looking at the seed, and say England seeded to play Austria, in the quarters, and maybe Northern Ireland in the semis. No disrespect to Brendan Dolan in Darryl Gurney, but it is open now for England. So maybe 11-5 there is the value, because it is getting a bit more like the football, isn't it? The teams that in the past you think, oh, have they got the ability to do that? There's going to be upsets, but usually we're not looking outside the top 2 or 3 favourites, really.
Well, yes, I mean, like I said, I'd put England favourite, you know, very strongly. However, when you're getting two players that are playing with each other, if they don't get on, or they've had a little bit of an argument, then you see, I mean, we see it with James Wade and Phil Taylor in the very first World Cup up in Seaham near Newcastle. We went on air, and I was being interviewed by Dave Clark, and behind us, Phil Taylor was practicing with someone, and 5 boards away, James Wade was practicing with someone else. And they went out first round to the Spanish, if you remember, and a cracking match they played. So it is gelling together. It's like a football team. If you don't gel together, then sometimes you're not going to win. You know, I realise and appreciate that darts is a very individualistic sport, and if you win your game, you can't do any more than win your game. However, as the Welsh have proved when, you know, Mark Webster and Barry Bates, I mean, if you want proof of how a team can gel and spur each other on, that performance by them was unbelievable. Yeah. So, you know, we need to see a little bit of gelling between the teams. We know a lot of them will automatically do that. But sometimes 2 biggest stars in the game don't always hit it off. No. So it'd be interesting to see what happens on that respect. Yeah,
that's it. Well, I'll tell you what, Rod, that's fantastic. So we're going to say England 11-5. You know, at a value for the tournament. And thank you for the tour earlier on around Harrington Towers. It looked fantastic. And stay off that fish pie. It's not good for the waistband.
Well, there is a little bit of fish pie left, so I will be finishing out before I go to bed with a cup of tea and a nice bit of Genoa cake, which is my favourite as well. So no wonder I can't lose any weight at the moment.
Lovely. Well, I'll tell you what, Rod, thank you so much for your time. And best luck over there at World Cup of Darts. I'm sure you'll have lots and lots of fun.
That's my pleasure, Paul, anytime.
There it is. Great to catch up with Rod Harrington there. So it's 11-5 England all the way for the value in the PDC World Cup of Darts. Well, thanks for joining us on Tungsten Tales, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free. Like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. And join us next week on more Behind the Bar with Bullstar, brought to you by William Hill, the proud sponsor of the World Darts Championship.